with this one massive question. I mean, think about the pyramids, Stonehenge, all those megalithic walls that have been standing for millennia. We've always been told they were carved, chipped away, and hauled by just sheer human power. But what if that's not the whole story? What if they weren't carved at all? What if they were cast? You know, this whole thing, this global movement, it started in the most 21st century way possible. Online, 3 guys from totally different parts of the world, Martin, Mondo, and Marcel, they connect over that single question. They weren't in some fancy, funded lab. Nope. They were in a chat group, messing around with simple materials and giving their research a name, Natron theory. And the people behind this? Honestly, they're just as fascinating as the theory itself. You've got Martin Strayed, a former rock guitarist from Australia who, after a major health scare, totally dedicated his life to this rediscovery. Then you have Marcel Foti, the author who actually documented all their findings, and Mondo Stone, a field tester out there proving the science works in different climates. See, this isn't some top-down academic thing. It's a real grassroots community of testers and dreamers. Okay, so what is this thing they think they rediscovered? Well, the concept is called a geopolymer. In simple terms, think of it like this. It's a type of artificial stone. And the big idea here, the core of Natron theory, is that ancient civilizations didn't just spend centuries carving massive blocks. They had the tech to create them, to literally cast them into shape, almost like a super advanced form of concrete. And get this, the recipe itself, it's shockingly simple. The community even has a cool name for it, salty science. You just take ash from really common plants, pine, bamboo, whatever. You mix it with something called water glass, which is just sodium silicate, and then you bind it all together with natural fibers. That's pretty much it. And according to their research, this simple, totally natural formula creates a stone that's actually stronger and lasts way longer than modern concrete. And this is where the theory really starts to hit home, because it points to a huge problem with our modern world. I mean, just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got ancient structures that have stood up to thousands of years of weather, war, you name it. On the other side, well, you've got our modern homes and buildings, what the source material calls concrete, that are often built to fall apart in less than 100 years. So what's with that huge gap and how long things last? Well, this leads to a pretty provocative idea, planned obsolescence. The theory argues that our modern way of building, it's not a failure of our technology. Oh no, it's a huge success for an industry that makes its money from tearing things down and rebuilding them over and over again. They're basically saying this lost technology wasn't really lost, it was buried. So as you can probably imagine, an idea this big has definitely faced some pushback. The community points to a few different groups. You've got tour guides who, make a living selling the mystery and the ancient alien stories for tourists. Then there's the big one, the established concrete industry, which obviously has a huge market to protect. And finally, you have these online personalities who would much rather spend fantasies than deal with actual verifiable science. So what do you do when people don't believe you? Well, instead of just getting into endless arguments online, they decided to do something radical. They decided to build. They launched this flagship project that's basically a living, breathing laboratory. A place where they can prove their science, not locked away in some private lab, but right out in the open, for the entire world to see, to touch, and to scrutinize. And this vision, it's actually taking shape right now at the GEOPOLYMER RETREAT in Krabi, Thailand. But listen, this is not just some resort. Think of it as a global stage. It's being built from local, natural resources, and the whole point is that it's completely open to the public. It's like a giant open invitation for visitors, investors, and researchers to come and see it for themselves, to actually take part in this global research project, all happening right out in public view. And they are definitely not thinking small here. They've actually billed this whole project as the biggest rock event on Earth. I mean, it's such a clever play on words, right? It mixes the rock and roll past of its founder with the literal rocks they're creating. This isn't just about construction. It's about starting a cultural movement to totally change how we think about building. Okay, so why should you care about any of this? Well, it's really about a fundamental shift in how we think. It's about taking a waste product, ash, and turning it into a super strong, beautiful building material. It's about teaching the next generation how to build things that last, not just consume stuff that breaks. The whole goal is to move away from this disposable culture and start building a real legacy for the people who come after us. And yeah, this is a totally open invitation. The community is putting out the call to, well, everyone. Visionaries, investors, builders, artists, parents who want their kids to learn some real hands-on science. The belief is that together, we can actually put an end to this era of disposable cities. And this all leads to their killer catchphrase, which just perfectly sums up their whole philosophy. It's a really direct, down-to-earth approach. This isn't about escaping to the stars. It's about rebuilding our world, right here, with the stuff we already have under our feet. And so this whole explainer really leaves us with one final and, honestly, crucial question to think about. I mean, just look at the world around you. The cities we live in, the homes we build. Are we just creating stuff that's going to crumble and end up at a landfill? Or are we building a legacy, something that will actually endure for centuries to come? What are we leaving behind?